Okay, probability second part, relative frequency. We can use frequency distribution tables to find the probability of an event using relative frequency. Now let's have a look at this. Frequency distribution tables. Does anyone remember this from year 9 and 10? Well, I'm going to draw this one up here. It looks like tables with scores, frequency, yeah. So those are like score, like X values, and then there's a frequency. So it's F. And then, you know, you probably remember cumulative frequency, yeah? And then I could say that's relative frequency now. Frequency, so like R and F. And then also we could have cumulative relative frequency here. So that's the tables, yeah? So frequency, obviously how many each scores are, yeah? And then probability. What is a probability, guys? Do you remember the formula? Number of favorable outcome over the total, that's the P event, total number of all possible outcome. Okay, so that's the probability. Now, what's relative frequency then? Relative frequency is how often something happens divided by total outcomes. So let me write this down. How often something, event, happens divided by total outcomes. Now if you look at this, now that, right, that's very similar, almost like same as this, isn't it? Like how often something happens, like that's a favorable outcome event divided by the total outcomes. That's why if we can find the relative frequency, we can find the probability. But we're going to use the frequency distribution table because we need frequency. Yeah, because that's relative frequency, obviously, so we're using frequency. So that's what we are going to use. All right then, so that's sort of understood there. Okay. Now, example. Let's have a look at the example. 30 students were asked about their favorite colors. This is the frequency table for the data that they collected. So we got red, yellow, blue, black, white, purple. When you add them all up, you get 30. So 30 students asked. Okay, fair enough. And find the relative frequency of the data in fraction form, in a decimal form, in a percentage form. Okay, so here we go. Ta-da, yep. Let me see if I can fit in there. I hope it does. Yes, just right. Okay, so color, we got red, yellow, blue, black. I'm going to push up as we go. Now, we know that total frequency is 30. So relative frequency was, what was it? How many or how often something happens, that's the frequency, divided by total outcome, which is 30. So I'm going to write it here, 7 over 30. Okay, and that can be represented as 0.23. Yeah, use calculator. And then times by 100, we'll get 23%. So we can write it in there. So the relative frequency can be written as fraction, decimal, percentage. Okay, so this one will be 4 over 30. I am not going to simplify this. So if you want, you can do that. And then 13%, 5 over 30. And if you're dying to simplify this, 1 over 6, go ahead. I wouldn't really mind at all. 17%. And I'm going to push up a little bit. So 6 over 30, 0.2, which is, I'm going to put it, so 0.20, 20%. 5 over 30 was the same as the other one, 0.17, 17%. 3 over 30, 0.10, 10%. Now, we had a total frequency of 30. Now, when you add all this fraction, you should have 1 because it is a probability, guys. So what's the maximum probability you can get? 1. Of course, all the decimals, when you add up, it'd be 1. Now, percentage, okay, well, it's not going to be 1%, obviously. What is a perfect percentage? 100. So that will be our relative frequency. Okay, well done.